Look around. We're bombarded, aren't we? Images of flawless careers launched by 25, ideal relationships solidified, a life meticulously mapped out, and of course, effortlessly documented for the world to see. But what if I told you the single most liberating, most powerful blueprint for your 20s is to tear up that pre-written script? What if the relentless pursuit of a perfect plan is actually the very thing holding you back from a truly extraordinary life? Welcome. If you're in your 20s, or remember what that felt like, you know the pressure. It's a constant hum in the background. What's your 5-year plan? Have you figured it all out yet? Society, well-meaning parents, even our own internal critics, they all seem to demand a clear, linear trajectory. And then there's social media, that curated gallery of everyone else's apparent triumphs. We see the filtered highlight reels, not the messy, uncertain, and often frustrating reality that lies beneath. It's no wonder so many of us feel lost, anxious, or like we're constantly falling short when our own path doesn't mirror those polished narratives. The fear of making the wrong choice, of deviating from some imaginary correct path, can be paralyzing. But here's the secret, the one that rarely makes it into those highlight reels. Nobody truly has it all figured out, especially in their 20s. This decade isn't about arriving at a predetermined destination. It's about the journey of discovery itself. And this is where the idea of a no-plan plan comes into play. Now, this isn't an excuse for apathy or drifting aimlessly. Far from it. The no-plan plan is an intentional, active approach. It's about embracing flexibility, prioritizing exploration, and being open to learning from every single experience, planned or unplanned. It's about cultivating what Nassim Nicholas Taleb calls anti-fragility, not just enduring shocks and uncertainties, but actually becoming stronger because of them. Think of the ancient Stoic philosophers, like Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, who championed embracing change and focusing on what we can control, our responses, rather than becoming unraveled by the uncontrollable. Your 20s are uniquely suited for this approach. Your brain is still incredibly malleable, you often have fewer rigid commitments, and the world is a vast field of potential experiments. So, what are the real, tangible benefits of ditching that rigid, often unrealistic master plan? Firstly, it's an incredible weight off your shoulders. The constant pressure to live up to an external ideal, or an outdated version of your own ambitions, dissipates. This creates mental space. Secondly, and perhaps more excitingly, it opens you up to serendipity. When you're not so narrowly focused on one specific outcome, you start to see doors and windows you never knew existed. Opportunities that wouldn't have fit into your perfect plan can suddenly become aha moments, pivotal turning points. And crucially, by allowing yourself to deviate, to explore, to sometimes even get a little lost, you gather invaluable data about who you truly are, what genuinely excites you, and what kind of life actually aligns with your deepest values, not just what looks good on paper. This is about building a life from the inside out, guided by authentic self-knowledge rather than external expectations. It's about trading the illusion of control for the power of adaptation and discovery. And that, my friends, is a far more robust and ultimately more rewarding way to navigate this defining decade. So, if we are loosening our grip on rigid, predefined plans, what takes their place? Imagine your 20s not as a race to a finish line, but as your own personal, fully equipped, no-holds-barred laboratory. This is your identity laboratory, a space where you are both the lead scientist and the primary subject of every experiment. The core purpose of this lab isn't to achieve a perfect, predetermined result. It's to gather rich, diverse, and deeply personal data about who you are and who you might become. Every new experience, every relationship, every job, every class, every adventure, every quiet moment of reflection, these are all experiments. And critically, in this laboratory, there are no truly failed experiments, only data points that illuminate your path forward. Each outcome, whether it feels like a triumph or a misstep, provides invaluable information. How do you run these life experiments? It starts with a willingness to try. Dive into things that spark even a flicker of curiosity. Take that short online course on a subject completely unrelated to your major. Volunteer for a cause that resonates with you. Say yes to a weekend trip with a new group of people. Apply for an internship in an industry you know nothing about. The beauty of these experiments in your 20s is that the stakes are often lower than they will be later in life. You can dabble, you can explore, you can even make a complete U-turn without derailing a lifelong career or upending a family. Remember, changing your mind or your direction isn't a sign of weakness or failure. It's a hallmark of active learning and courageous self-discovery. Many of the most successful and fulfilled individuals you can think of had winding, unpredictable paths full of pivots and reinventions before they found what truly clicked. They weren't afraid to revise their hypotheses based on new data. Now, as you conduct these experiments, it is crucial to become an astute observer and analyst of your own data. This means cultivating self-reflection. After you try something new, ask yourself, what parts of that experience energized me? What drained me? What skills did I use or develop? What did I learn about my preferences, my strengths, my weaknesses? What surprised me? Keeping a simple journal, or even just taking a few moments each week to consciously review your experiences, can turn raw data into profound insights. This isn't about navel-gazing. It's about active intelligence gathering for the most important project of your life, you. One of the biggest hurdles to this experimental approach is the fear of starting, often compounded by the dreaded FOMO, the fear of missing out. We worry, what if I choose this path and miss out on something better over there? Or, what if I invest time in this and it's the wrong thing? The antidote to this paralysis is to start small and to focus on the process of learning, not on achieving an immediate perfect outcome. You do not need to commit to a 5-year plan for every new interest. Dip your toe in. Take an introductory workshop. Read a book. Talk to someone already in that field. These low-commitment experiments provide valuable information without requiring a massive upfront investment of time or resources. The goal isn't to eliminate all other possibilities, but to gather enough information to make your next small step an informed one. By embracing this mindset, you are not just passively waiting for life to happen to you. You are actively engaging with its possibilities, becoming a skilled navigator of your own unfolding journey. Your 20s are this incredible, fertile ground for planting a multitude of seeds, some of which will blossom in ways you cannot yet imagine. Now, let's talk about the F word. No, not that one. I mean failure. In a world obsessed with success, achievement, and flawless execution, the very idea of failure can feel like a personal indictment, a mark of shame. Society often programs us to avoid it at all costs, to see it as an end point, a definitive statement of our inadequacy. But if your 20s are truly an identity laboratory, as we've discussed, then failure isn't just a possibility. It's an essential, non-negotiable part of the process. In fact, I'd argue that a 20s lived without a few significant stumbles, a few genuine that didn't work out as planned moments, is a 20s not fully lived. Think of Thomas Edison's famous line, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the spirit. Failure, when reframed, isn't a verdict. It's data. It's a redirection. It's a powerful teacher, often more potent than success. So, how do we transform these perceived setbacks into stepping stones? It begins with a conscious effort to learn from them, not just lament them. When an experiment in your life doesn't yield the expected outcome, resist the urge to immediately assign blame or internalize it as a personal flaw. Instead, step back and become an objective analyst. Ask yourself, what exactly happened here? What were the contributing factors, both internal and external? What assumptions did I make that proved incorrect? What could I have done differently? And, most importantly, what specific lessons, skills, or insights can I extract from this experience that will make me wiser, stronger, or better prepared for the next attempt? This isn't about dwelling on the negative. It's about mining the experience for its hidden gold. Every supposed failure contains the seeds of future understanding and competence, if only we have the courage to look for them. This brings us to the crucial concept of resilience, and what Dr. Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. Resilience is not about never falling down. It's about how quickly and effectively you get back up. It's about recognizing that setbacks are temporary, not terminal. A growth mindset is the underlying belief that your abilities, your intelligence, your talents are not fixed traits, but can be developed through dedication, hard work, and, yes, learning from failure. When you embrace a growth mindset, failure is no longer a sign that you don't have what it takes. Instead, it becomes an indicator that you need to adjust your strategy, acquire new skills, or simply try again with renewed effort and insight. Success, in this framework, isn't a static destination you arrive at, but an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and evolving. Those who achieve great things rarely do so on their first try or without encountering significant obstacles. Their secret is often their unwavering belief in their capacity to learn and improve, even in the face of disappointment. Consider, for a moment, some of the most celebrated figures in any field. How many of them experienced profound failures or rejections before they achieved widespread recognition? J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by numerous publishers. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey was demoted from her role as a news anchor. These aren't just anecdotes. They are powerful testaments to the fact that the path to meaningful achievement is almost never a straight line. It's often paved with missteps, detours, and moments that, at the time, probably felt like crushing defeats. The difference was their refusal to let those moments define them or extinguish their drive. They treated failure not as a full stop, but as a comma, a pause for recalibration before continuing the sentence. This is the alchemy of turning failure into fuel. And in your 20s, you have an unparalleled opportunity to practice this alchemy, to build that resilience, to cultivate that growth mindset, and to learn that every stumble, if approached correctly, can indeed become a launch pad. While embracing the no-plan plan liberates you from the pressure of a rigid life script, It doesn't mean neglecting the crucial foundations that will empower your journey of exploration and grant you true freedom of choice later on. Think of it this way. Even if you don't know exactly where you're going, it's wise to ensure your vehicle is well maintained, your toolkit is well stocked, and your mind is sharp. These aren't restrictive plans. They are intelligent investments in your future capacity and optionality. They are the bedrock upon which you can confidently build a life of purpose, even as that purpose evolves. First, let's talk about the learning mindset. In an era of unprecedented change, the most valuable skill you can possess is not any single piece of knowledge, but the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn continuously. Your formal education might be ending, or perhaps it's ongoing, but your real education is a lifelong endeavor. Cultivate an insatiable curiosity. Read widely, not just within your chosen field, but across disciplines. Seek out online courses that pique your interest, even if they seem unrelated to your current path. Listen to podcasts, attend workshops, find mentors. This continuous learning isn't just about accumulating degrees or certifications. It's about expanding your mental toolkit, fostering adaptability, and keeping your mind agile. The world will keep changing, and your ability to learn will be your greatest asset in navigating those changes. Next, consider your health, both physical and mental. Your body and mind are the only true vehicles you have for this entire journey. The habits you establish in your 20s around nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management will lay a profound foundation, or a precarious one, for decades to come. This isn't about achieving some Instagram-perfect physique or a state of perpetual bliss. It's about consistent, small, positive actions. It's about understanding that good food fuels a sharp mind, regular movement combats stress and boosts energy, and adequate sleep is non-negotiable for cognitive function and emotional regulation. And equally vital is mental health. Your 20s can be a roller coaster. Learn to recognize your emotional patterns, develop healthy coping mechanisms, and, crucially, don't hesitate to seek support when you need it, whether from friends, family, or professionals. Prioritizing your mental well-being is not a weakness, it is a profound strength. Then there's the often dreaded topic of personal finance. Many of us in our 20s might feel we don't earn enough to think about financial foundations. But this isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about establishing sound habits, even with modest resources. Understand the basics of budgeting, conscious spending, and avoiding unnecessary debt, especially high-interest consumer debt. And grasp the almost magical power of compound interest, especially when you start early. A small amount saved or invested consistently in your 20s can grow exponentially over time, providing you with security and, more importantly, options in the future. The goal here isn't immediate wealth. It's long-term financial freedom. The freedom to make choices based on your values and aspirations, not just your financial constraints. Finally, let's revisit relationship economics. We've talked about the quality of your connections. Your 20s are a prime time to consciously invest your limited time and energy into relationships that truly nourish and support your growth. This means being intentional about who you spend time with. Seek out people who challenge you, inspire you, and celebrate your successes. Learn to set healthy boundaries and, perhaps just as importantly, learn when it's time to gracefully disinvest from relationships that consistently drain your energy or hold you back. These foundational investments in learning, health, finance, and relationships are not about boxing yourself in. They are about equipping yourself with the resources, resilience, and clarity to make the most of whatever opportunities and challenges your no-plan plan unfolds. They are the airdrops of essential supplies for your great adventure. So, we have journeyed through the liberating truth of the no-plan plan. We have seen that shedding the suffocating pressure of a pre-written life script, embracing uncertainty as an ally, and transforming your 20s into a vibrant laboratory for self-discovery are not signs of aimlessness, but hallmarks of profound wisdom and courage. We have reframed failure not as a dead end, but as invaluable data, and recognized the power of intentionally building a solid foundation in learning, health, finance, and relationships. These are the cornerstones that will support whatever magnificent structure your life becomes. The no-plan plan, at its heart, is about actively, intentionally, and courageously engaging with the beautiful messiness of becoming. But without a detailed map, how do you navigate? This is where your inner compass comes into play. Instead of obsessing over every future turn and potential roadblock, you shift your focus inward. Your inner compass is calibrated by your core values, your authentic interests, your deepest curiosities, and what genuinely makes you feel alive and purposeful. It is the quiet voice of your intuition, honed by self-awareness and honest reflection. Learning to listen to this internal guidance system is far more crucial than trying to follow an external, one-size-fits-all plan. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me beneath all the noise and expectations? What activities make me lose track of time? What kind of impact do I want to have, however small or large? These aren't questions with easy, instant answers, but the very act of pondering them begins to align your compass. Now, for the most important part, action. All this understanding, all this reframing is powerful, but it remains theoretical until you take that first, tangible step. So, what can you do starting today to activate this no-plan plan and engage your inner compass? I challenge you to try one new thing this week. It doesn't have to be monumental. It could be signing up for a free online webinar on a topic you're curious about. It could be initiating a conversation with someone whose career or life path intrigues you. It could be dedicating an hour to a forgotten hobby. The scale of the action is less important than the act itself. Next, I encourage you to jot down 3 small life experiments you want to conduct in the coming month. Perhaps it's volunteering for a local organization, learning a basic skill from a YouTube tutorial, or finally reading that book that's been gathering dust. Remember, these are experiments. The outcome is less critical than the learning. And take a moment to look back at a recent experience that felt like a failure. Instead of dwelling on the disappointment, actively identify one concrete lesson you learned from it. How can that lesson inform your next step? This practice transforms setbacks into fuel. And as you embark on this, always remember, your 20s are uniquely yours. There is no universal right way or wrong way to live them. The metrics that matter are not how quickly you climb a ladder or how closely your life matches some societal ideal. The true metrics are how much you learn, how deeply you understand yourself, and how authentically you engage with the world. What are you currently doing to truly understand what ignites your passion or what you genuinely value in life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's create a community of explorers. Your life is an unwritten book, an uncharted territory. Do not waste precious time and energy trying to flawlessly replicate a chapter from someone else's story, no matter how glossy it appears. Have the courage to pick up your own pen, to be the author of your own extraordinary narrative, even and especially when you don't know exactly how the next paragraph or even the next sentence will unfold. Because that, my friends, is the profound secret and the singular beauty of your 20s. The journey of discovery, with all its twists, turns, and beautiful uncertainties, is the destination itself. Now, go, explore, learn, become.